Hi, second graders. How are you? We're going to talk about Passover today. And remember how I told you the story of Passover last time. But this time I want to walk with you with this and explain some things in it. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read from this chapter. You can follow my reading, and then I'm going to explain some things to you as we read it. We will talk about it during the day. So, first of all, I want to start reading. Please put your packets next to you and let's read. Because it's a YouTube, you can just pause me now, go bring your packet, and we'll continue. Passover. Spring had arrived. The weather was warmer and the tulips were in bloom. Daniel's family will be hosting the Passover Seder, the holiday meal celebrating the Exodus, our freedom from slavery in Egypt. 18 guests were coming, aunts, uncles, cousins, and friends. Well, in time of the corona, not a lot of people can come to your house, so we don't have such a big table with a lot of friends, but it still is a family tradition and a family meal. A little smaller this time, but still a family tradition and a family meal. So, remember the Exodus, the story we told you last time in our last clip, that's the Exodus, the coming out of Egypt. That's why they say about the Exodus. Freedom from slavery into freedom. I'm going to the next paragraph. Tonight, the family was cleaning out the chametz from their home. What is chametz? Let's see. Chametz is a food that is made with an ingredient that causes the food to rise. For example, bread and many cakes and cookies are made with yeast. Yeast causes dough to rise, so they are chametz. Actually, chametz is every leavened food there is. Now, why don't we eat chametz? If you remember, the Israelites rushed out of Egypt and they didn't have time to let their dough grow up. So what they did is they put it on their backpack and ran out of Egypt. And meanwhile, their dough wasn't rising. So they had like crackers. So nowadays we eat matzah, which is like this cracker. It's not leavened. And to remember that for the whole week of Passover, we do not eat leavened food. No donuts, no cookies, no bread, no challah, no anything like that. We have different kind of food, and today we make all kinds of food from different flour, like corn flour or matzah flour, but not with regular flour. So that's what we eat now. So let's go to the next page. Traditionally, chametz is not eaten or even kept in the house on Passover. Pesach, instead, we eat matzah and other holiday food that are kosher for Passover. So we eat it on the Seder night. Now, by the way, why do we call this holiday Pesach at all? Pesach comes from the word in Hebrew to skip, Pasach. And remember the 10th plague, when the firstborn was dead, God skipped the houses of Israel. And because of that, he Pasach. And then we call the holiday Pesach. On Pesach, we drink 4 cups of wine. Some say they symbolize the season of the year. Some say they symbolize the way that God took us out of Egypt. I'm skipping the why matzah on page 94 at the bottom, because I already explained to you why are we eating matzah and what's the connection to that to Passover. And I'm going to the afikoman, which was a question you needed to answer. We put a plate with 3 sheets of matzah on the Seder table. During the Seder, we break off a piece from the middle matzah and hide it. It is called the afikoman. In some families, the adults hide the afikoman and the children find it. That's how it was in my family. In other families, the children hide it and the adults find it. That wasn't in my house. A prize is given either to the person who finds the afikoman or to the one who hides the afikoman. In my family, whoever found it. Everyone eats a piece of the afikoman at dessert time. Well, the afikoman is this matzah. We break it, we hide it. In our house, we hide it till today, and the kids are looking for it. And the first one to find the matzah, he's going to get the prize. Actually, everybody get a prize. I won't tell you, but it's a secret. Everybody get a prize, but they're still looking for it, and they want to find it because it's important to find it. So they're looking for the afikoman, and when they find it, you bring it to the table. Afikoman, it's an ancient word for the word dessert. And actually, that was the dessert at the old days, which is kind of crazy. Nowadays, we do have fabulous desserts for Passover. We don't eat afikoman as a dessert. Okay. Now, let's see. We tell the story of Passover, and I'm reading page 95 at the bottom. We tell the story of Passover as if God had freed each of us personally from slavery in Egypt. Somebody asked the 4 questions, which remind us that we are now free people. Only free people can ask questions and get answers. Daniel, which was the youngest kid in the house, because the youngest kid is the kid who says the 4 questions, says, I'll go practice. And later that day, Daniel knew it. Let's review the story of Passover, Elijah said. I'll begin and you can jump in whenever you want. So now, because I already told you the story of Passover last time, I'm skipping the story of Passover. I just want to remind you the 10 plagues. It's on page 97 on the right side. You can read them. We have dam. I'm going to tell them in Hebrew, but you will follow me. Dam, tzfardea, kinim, arov, dever, shchin, barad, arbe, choshech, makat bechorot. Okay? 10 plagues, I just told them in Hebrew. They are on page 97 on the right side. You can look at it and you can learn them and understand what each and every one of them. I already talked about it last time. Now you see on 4, they said God sent millions of insects, and I told you wild beasts. Well, the word in the Bible, arov, can go 2 ways. Some will say it was wild beasts, and some will say it was all kinds of insects. Because arov comes from the word me'urbav, which is mixed, all kinds of animals. So some will say it was all kinds of insects, and some will say it was all kinds of big animals, wild beasts. Okay, now I want to talk about the Seder plate. The Seder plate is, you can see it on page 98 at the bottom, is this one. Each Seder plate looks a bit different than the other, and I want to talk about what's in the Seder plate so you can answer the question, which food on the Seder plate do you like most? Even if you don't have a Seder plate in your house, you can read the foods and say, oh, I like it better than the other, or I don't like it at all. So let's see what on the Seder plate, and that will be our class for today, and we will continue next time with our stories of Passover. At the center of the Seder table is the Seder plate. These are the foods that we put on it. Now, a Seder plate has to be on the table of the Seder. By the way, Seder in Hebrew means order. And in Passover, we're doing the meal by order. We can't just eat whatever we want. There is steps, 14 steps for that order. So that's why it's called Seder. Seder, Hebrew, English, order. The night of order. Leil HaSeder. Leil comes from the word Laila. Laila, night. Leil, not Laila. Laila. Laila, Laila. Laila. Laila, night. Okay? So Seder Leil Seder, night of order, because the food is in order. And on the table, we have a plate of the Seder. And on this plate, let's see what there is. There is karpas. Karpas, we put either a potato or a green herb, like parsley, to remind us of spring. We dip the parsley in salt water to remember the tears of our people that cried in Egypt. On the other one, we have an egg, roasted egg, a reminder of the festival sacrifice in the Temple of Jerusalem. Actually, some people say it's a reminder for life, because it's springtime, everything is renewing, leaves, birds lay their eggs, and everything is coming to life in the spring. So it's a time of life, and the egg symbolizes life. Maror. Maror comes from the word mar in Hebrew. Mar is bitter. Maror is a bitter herb like horseradish to remind us of the bitterness of slavery. And then we have zroa, which is like a chicken, like drumstick of a chicken. And a roasted bone to remind us of the Passover sacrifice that was offered in the temple in Jerusalem. And because it's called zroa, and zroa is also this part of the body, so it's called about the mighty hand that God took us from Israel, this part of the body, sorry. Zroa, this is ama, zroa, the mighty hand that God took us out of Egypt. We have charoset. Charoset is a mixture of fruit, wine, and nuts to remind us of the bricks that the Pharaoh forced the Israelites to make. And then we have some people, not everybody does it, chazeret, an additional bitter herb. So in some houses it's either horseradish or chazeret. I didn't see houses that put it together in the same place. So this is what comes in the plate. What is chazeret? It's another bitter herb that we do to remember the bitterness of the, so we don't put them both. It's either horseradish or chazeret, one of the two. So now look at the page, answer the question, and we will meet for Judaic again on Monday. Tomorrow we will have our Hebrew class, and we're going to meet on Zoom tomorrow as well, just to talk about life and what's going on. And I will end with a song you all love. היום יום חמישי, חמישי, חמישי. היום יום חמישי, חמישי, חמישי. היום יום חמישי.